further ado, the president of the Detroit Sports Broadcast Association, Mr. Will Tiemann.
Well, guys, it's a big week, so we might as well get going. What we'd like to do is tell some stories, and we'll start with George and get him up here first. And so, George, we have you right here. And a quick little thumbnail about George for those of you who don't keep track of such things. He's the last one to take Michigan State to a Rose Bowl, last one to win a Rose Bowl, and the last coach we had to take us to a Big Ten championship. So hopefully that'll change soon, but so far, maybe not. And sitting next to him will be Jerry Hamlin, longtime assistant coach at Michigan State and broadcaster. Michigan, excuse me. I'm just trying to help you, Jerry. And a pretty good golfer, I might add. Jim Miller, 93 as quarterback, beat Michigan on our broadcast team. And maybe his claim to fame in my mind was after the 93 game on the Michigan radio network, Larry Sorensen was the sideline guy, and they went down to a very excited Jim Miller. And you know, he's always been very graceful as a Big Ten academic All-American. And Larry says, "Jim, it was a great game, you're excited." And the first thing out of his mouth is, "We kicked their ass for 4 quarters."
That's right.
It was a
There's a lot of excuses coming out today.
Yeah, it was special. Bruce Monty is going to join us. If there's anybody that knows anything about Michigan, it's Bruce. He's been carrying the torch for a long time now. And maybe one of the best PR guys in the history of college sports. Right. And Dan Fallons is going to join us as well. We used to be a member of the broadcast team in Michigan State. And so...
No, Michigan, you should be on the left.
So anyway...
People's Republic of Banner.
So I thought what we might do here is just let I ask one question to everybody, and they can talk about maybe their fondest moment of this rivalry, and it's a good one. And then take some questions and let them just talk about what makes this game so special. And so I'll start off with the guy that got me to Michigan State, George Perlis. So George, I just give you this thing. What was your favorite memory of the series?
Bobby Morris running a punt back for 88 yards for a touchdown the second year that we were at Michigan State. That stands out. But there's another play that's pretty important. It's when Michigan went for 2 points when we were tied at, near to tie the game, and they interfered with us, but it didn't work because they dropped the ball.
What about you, Jerry?
Probably the first memory was a bad one. We came up here from Ohio, as you well know, and we geared ourselves to say that the one thing we've got to do is we've got to beat Ohio State because they're the Big Ten champs every year. Well, that damn Duffy put in a wishbone offense, and we went up to that stadium and they kicked our butts the first year we were here. That told me one thing: don't play this game short, because I had the most miserable year of my life in this state having to listen to George Perlis and Bank Bullock go around telling how bad we were and how good they were. So, and very, very quickly, I found out how important the Michigan State game was. And so that probably is one of the standouts. I won't talk about all the victories because that would take too long.
Bruce, what about you? You've seen a ton of these things.
Well, the one that really stands out is we thought we had a rather special player in Charles Woodson. And when we were talking about, you know, how we were going to have him kind of be PR'd for any potential Heisman run, we were always kind of waiting for something kind of to jump, and we were waiting, and it was the game in East Lansing where all of a sudden the quarterback from state is just trying to toss the ball out of bounds, and Charles Woodson makes one of the most impressive one-handed interceptions I have ever seen in my life. I don't even know how the ref got the call correctly, because the way he put his foot down, I swear it had to be the wrong foot to come down. He had one hand on the ball. He comes down, pulls the ball away, and that was the day at the end of the game, we win the game, and I looked at Charles, because normally you would bring in the head coach first. And I looked at Charles and I go, well, at this point, Lloyd, you're going to wait. We're bringing Charles right out to the press interview area, and that's what we did. We took him out there, and it really was kind of the start of what we would call our little bit of a public relations campaign to try to help him win the Heisman.
Just think if you were Todd Schultz, a quarterback at Michigan State, just trying to throw the damn thing away. And that was an amazing play. Well, Jim Miller, what about you?
Well, first off, obviously, I was born and raised here in Michigan, in Waterford, Michigan, and you know, even all the coaches and listening to Bruce here, we're so intertwined with everything. My brother and sister went to U of M. Here I choose Michigan State. My second cousin is Johnny Wrangler, who was a quarterback, obviously, at University of Michigan, and Jerry actually recruited me coming out of Waterford Kettering, and I committed to Michigan State while I was at my visit at U of M. So Jerry wasn't too happy about that one. But, you know, it's something special. You grow up, the rivalry means a lot, just growing up in my household, and then have the ability to play in the game and how special it is. And it truly is a more emotional game. You truly give every ounce of effort, emotionally and physically, and a lot of it is just due to the rivalry for what it is, because you know about the history of the game. And just growing up here in Michigan, again, I knew the importance of the game. And for this year to have the meaning that it has, both teams 5-0, both programs trying to rebuild to national prominence is pretty special. And I always knew it was special when Coach Perlis would go down and work with the defense. And you know, here Will brings up my senior year where we beat them 17-7, and the game really wasn't even close. I mean, that's why I said we kicked their ass for 4 quarters, because there was no excuses at all, because we dominated them the whole game. But you knew something special was going to happen when George was down there tinkering with the defense. And just, I remember the energy of that game. It was just, I've never played in a game like that, where your emotions just carried you through the game. Every play was a big play. Every hit was a hard hit. And when we talk about every snap matters, every snap truly mattered in that ball game. So it was very special to me personally, obviously, to go out as a senior, as a winner, and pretty much dominating Michigan for 60 minutes.
What do you think?
I like it. I like it. First of all, George and I and Bobby Pop go back into the 50s. Some of you people probably weren't even around then, but it was remarkable, not only the competition, but the camaraderie. I mean, the guys that played at Michigan, Kramer and Mintz and Barr and all those guys, they're great guys, really good fun. And everybody wants to make a big deal out of this competition. No, I hate Michigan and I hate Michigan State. No. We are so fortunate here to have 2 universities like this, and obviously the other ones, Central and Eastern and all the rest of them, Wayne. But Michigan State and Michigan are unbelievably good to be in the same area. And that competition is just so obvious, and it's very healthy and I think excellent. But it's also a lot of fun. I had an opportunity, and I told the guys at the table this, had an opportunity when I was doing the color on radio to interview Ron Kramer, who was a good friend of mine. He went to high school at East Detroit when I was at Grosse Pointe, and I got to know him pretty well. He was a fraternity brother and all that good stuff. So, and Ron, as you probably all know, had a kind of a, I'll say, a little aggressive sense of humor. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says to me on the air, Vallis, why did you come to this cow college? Ronnie. I said, well, Ron, I'll tell you, it's very simple. At Michigan State, we milk our cows, we don't date them.